Hello, now I'm going to do my bridge challenge. First, I'm going to start off with the most simplest form of bridge, which is the beam bridge. Here I have two stacks of books with the same height, and see the gap between these two stacks of books is 6 inches. So because the beam bridge itself does not have any supporting structure, it withstands all of the tension force, and so the abutment on the piers withstand all the compression force. Because the beam bridge itself withstands all of the tension force, it needs to increase its strength. So in order to increase its strength, I will need to increase its thickness. If you increase the thickness of a material, you are actually increasing the rigidity of the material. So here, this is my beam bridge. It's actually two pieces of paper folded to get together as one. See? So now I'm going to test the strength of the beam bridge. Oh look, it could only withstand the weight of 3 50-cent coins. Look at that, it has already sunk down. So now how do I improve the structure of the beam bridge? As the beam bridge has a weak point in the center of gravity when there is no vertical support, I will have to think of a supporting structure beneath to bear the tension force from the load on the bridge. I could place vertical pillars underneath, one right at the center of the bridge span, or by putting more pillars to make it stronger to bear the tension force. But for this short span of bridge, I will think of a structure which will be able to pull the weight outward towards the supporting abutment. An arch structure. An arch structure. I made this arch by folding a piece of paper, and I'm going to fold it into an arch. So now I'm going to put it between these two stacks of books. So here's the arch structure. This arch will transfer all the tension force along its arch, pulling it outwards towards the abutment at each end. So arch structure is stronger than beam post support. So here's my diagram, you can refer to it. There, see? So it's because that only for a post structure, only the post exert a force here. But for an arch structure, the whole surface exert an upward force. Look here. Okay. So this will be my arch bridge. So now let's test the strength of the arch bridge. We will use these coins. So look at this. So there are only 7 50-cent coins here, and the bridge fell down. Now how do I improve on my arch bridge? Now that I've got a supporting structure to withstand the force on the bridge, now I have to think of ways to take the load of force and spread it out and transferring it to the abutments or piers at each end. Trusses. I can place trusses above or below the beam to distribute and spread out the force of the load. Top of the beam is called through trusses and below of the beam is called deck trusses. So I will build a through truss, which means it's going to be at the top. Now I folded one piece of paper to make this truss bridge. So now I'm going to test the strength of the truss bridge. Now let's test the strength of the truss bridge with the supporting arch. Oh, look at this. 930. So in total, there are 30 50-cent coins here, and this is what made the bridge collapse. Now how do I improve on the truss bridge with the supporting arch? Now that I've got a structure to withstand the vertical load and another structure to spread or even out the load force, probably another supporting structure will be something which will pull it outward to hold the load force. A suspension. I'll have a tower which raised at the middle of the beam, and the supporting structure will run from the tower both ends to the anchorage at the abutments. The structure of the cables or the poles will bear the tension force. The structure of the cables on the poles will bear the tension force, and the tower and the anchorage will at the abutments will bear the compression force. So the compression pushing up balances out the tension pushing down, allowing the bridge to remain upright. So this is the structure of my suspension bridge. I've used one piece of paper, cut it out and slip it through, and this suspended the bridge. So now I'm going to test the strength of this suspension bridge. So now I will count all the coins.